Hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. I'm sorry for the lateness. Yeah, I call this late. It was 2 minutes when I hit the button, and that was all on me. I got
That,
here.
that,
I got here. Let me finish what I gotta say, and then I'll introduce you. I was I decided I was watching a movie with the boss, and I said, "All right, I'll give myself some time." Next thing I know, look up, it's like 5 minutes to go, and realized I didn't send the link to anybody. So one, I had to do that. Then I hadn't set up the show on Instagram, and then and then I was in the wrong studio. I was in the wrong show. So for some reason I was like, "Why does it say 10 a.m.?" But anyways, we're here. We started. Welcome to the show, Tony. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was gonna say everybody should be used to delays by the end of the week with the crazy weather that's coming in.
Uh,
4 to 4 to 10
how is
inches
the
of
weather affecting the YouTube channel?
yeah, but it affects the people on other things besides YouTube.
No, I'm late, not the people that are watching, Tony. And you know what? And as
Ah,
you know, today was a holiday, right? So we were off, so we didn't do anything today. I mean, I actually did some work, but didn't have to. But I'm gonna say hello to a couple people, and then Spencer will be in. He said he'll be a little running late. He's doing a little house repair, but we'll see him in a little bit. Got Spawny Mark in the house. Welcome to the show.
hey Mark.
I don't know about playing Leicester solving anybody's striker problems. We haven't really solved anything. We just, you know, we've got a better squad, and that turned out. But yeah,
We played the
we didn't
second
solve our
best
striker problem because we had 70
second
minutes. Yeah,
second worst defense in the league,
yeah,
guys.
80
So
minutes, 80 minutes of 80 minutes where we can get a goal in. So yeah, I don't think so. Anders in
Venerio
the
was
house.
trying.
Welcome to the show. Anders is here. I bet Anders is a bit happy, right? I I actually turned on the game and I saw Leeds were down one. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be one of those games. I went away, came back. I think it was like 70 minutes or so, and so decided to watch the end of it. And anybody who did got to see a show. Mr. Tom will probably talk to you guys about that on another show. We got Steven in the house. Welcome to the show, Steven. I just wonder if it's cold for you as it's cold for us over here on the East Coast. I don't know if it's cold for you, Tony, in the Midwest. Yeah,
It's getting cold.
yeah, yeah. Even Leeds beat Leicester twice. Like twice when? Like in the history of football, or this season?
To
What are you
be
talking about?
negative six
Welcome to the
Wednesday,
show, Mr.
Gary.
Tom.
Too
Got
cold
Rosie
for
in.
herself.
You got Rosie in the house. Yep, she's saying hope everybody's well. Yes. And he says, "What a finish! It was a great finish. I mean, talk about scoring at the death. I mean, their first goal, call them set piece FC, right? They scored on two set pieces. So there you go. Leeds. All right, yeah. Uh, last season, Gary, Leeds beat Leicester twice. Why are we talking about last season, right? What happened to last season? Where did you end up? You beat them twice, and then where did they end up? I don't think you want to go back to last year, do you? It wasn't a good year. This year, our Leeds sit 2 points above. I think what is it? 40. They're like 10 goal difference, over 10 goal difference than the second place team. So
I remember back a certain time when Arsenal beat Leicester 2 times in a season. And
yeah,
guess who won the league? Fucking
yeah. So it doesn't it
well,
doesn't
one,
bode it
one,
doesn't bode
one,
well to beat them twice in a season. You don't get what you want. So
one to
yeah,
ten
yeah,
thousand odds or whatever it was for
yeah,
them to win
yeah.
it.
Did Leeds beat Sunderland? Yeah, yes they did. Yes they did. Oh, I thought you were giving somebody the finger with those hand gestures there. So there you go. Gary trying to commit. What? You are going overboard with your beat Leicester 2 times last year when they were in the championship, and now they're not in the championship. What are you trying to say? Uh, let's see. Steven says he watched the match and then the highlights. It wasn't until the 60th minute that they showed an Arsenal highlight. There were four Leicester highlights. You know what's weird about that? I don't understand what is four Leicester highlights. I don't know. Outside of the one mistake we made, I don't know what they did that threatened us. I mean,
They
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 didn't
had
do
a
much.
couple. That header went wide, then there's another shot that they should have got on target. But
I don't know what they did much though, to tell you the truth. At least to me. They didn't do much. I mean, let's see. You're talking about what they did. Let's see. And in the first, let's see, is this right? Yeah, in the first half they had three shots to our four, one goalkeeper save. I mean, yeah, kind of even Steven there. Yeah, yeah. Mr. Tom doesn't know how to use these words, and Mildred. See, you need to stop, Mildred. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We are here. Arsenal still sits. They still sit second in the league, and I didn't actually realize it, but it looks like Forest actually lost. I didn't realize that at all. So Arsenal sits now 6 points above Forest. You know, 9 points above City at this point in the season. Wow,
well,
there you go. So yeah, we're looking good right now. But anyways, let's get back. Let's get to it. Arsenal. Yeah, let's talk about it. Arsenal travels to Leicester City. I believe that's the is it Power Stadium? Is that right? Is that what it's called? I think it's Power Stadium. I don't remember which one's which now. I used to know. I didn't used to know. I'm trying to remember. But Arsenal travels to Leicester City and gets a 2-0 lead. If you didn't look at the game, you probably would go, that's probably what we expected. Um,
it, to me, watching it, I just finished watching it about 30 minutes
I
before the
got it right.
show started, and I felt like I was watching tennis. It's like when it goes 40 advantage, 40 advantage, and it just keeps going back and forth.
It was not
That's
that
what.
close. Who was going to score in that game up to the 80th minute? I don't know what game
Okay.
you know what, whatever, however your mind works, got it. That's not the
Uh,
kind of game I saw. I didn't see. I
okay.
saw.
Did you want me to say paint drying? Is that where you
I
want me
don't.
to go?
Yeah, you make it sound. You're actually saying they. No, I didn't see what you saw. No, it didn't look like
Okay.
any team was going to
Well,
score.
I got brand new glasses, Gary.
They're
You
not
need to go get
working.
your check.
They're
Nope.
not working.
I think it's
You need to
Gary's
get new
glasses.
glasses. You got to get a different prescription. I don't think they work. I don't know what this Mr. Tom is. Gary. Mr. Tom doesn't know how to use words. Also, Gary. Mildred. I know how to use words. That's her name, Mildred. If she wants to call me by the wrong name, I will call her by the wrong name. And yeah, King Power is the stadium. And you were missed last night, Allison. I don't know who is Allison now, but that's now we're starting to use weird names. Gary, it was minus negative 34 when I woke up. That's negative 29 for Tony. Ay ay ay. Oh, but that's like winter. That's like fall for you, right? You're quiet going, shorts weather, right?
It's about to be negative 24 Celsius
Yeah,
here Wednesday. So,
yeah, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. But first things first, let's go into it. Back line goalkeeper. I mean, I think that's what we expected as far as the lineup midfield. We expected that as well. Based on the players that we had available, our strongest midfield, Vertigor, Partey, and Rice. Back line of Skelly, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber with Ray and goal. Very, uh, those pretty much positions and those starting positions pretty much will be what they will be until maybe Ben White starts getting into the flow, right? And then we'll see what happens there. Because if Ben White gets in, does Timber play? Does Skelly start? Personally, I don't
I,
know. There's a lot to talk, not to do there.
I
Got
I did
Felix in the
not
house. Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
I did not like all the tackles and hits that Timber was taking. He was
Mm.
taking lots of challenges against Timber.
I didn't necessarily notice what you noticed. Then I guess I haven't. I watched it and I was doing a watch along, of course. So maybe I just didn't.
It's
I didn't.
always you always miss stuff on, but I
Yeah.
love doing a watch along. It's one of my favorite things to do because
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
really want to watch the game and you have to
Sure.
rewatch it afterwards or something.
Yeah. Said hey to Big Gunner. All good. No balls to freeze off. However, it snowed in Glasgow. So there you go. No balls to freeze off there in Glasgow. All right. Then our front line. Whew. Well, let's go. We'll start with the bad, and we'll get to the good. But Sterling on the left wing, Trossard through the middle, and Nweri on the right. Oof. Nweri was definitely somebody I thought would have a good game. My stats for the game was that he would get the brace, that Trossard and Sterling would probably contribute with assists, and then we see out the game. I had it wrong on the brace, but I had a brace for sure. What do you think about that front line, Tony?
Um, Sterling just looks like somebody that's out of shape. It kept on popping up on my Twitter that WWE marijuana's not on the drug thing. That's it looks like that's what
What
Sterling
did you
does.
just you're making no sense to me.
Sterling looks like he's stoned and doesn't care.
That's what you
Tissard
saw?
did a clinical pass. Wineri did a clinical pass for both the goals. So I thought Sterling was terrible.
All right. I don't know about
Awful.
whether he was smoking something, but that's what you said. Now Sterling and Trossard for me did not look good in that first half. I mean, I don't know how many offsides we had, but it seemed to me like they each had at least two, probably more. Both of them were offsides. More, Sterling was blatantly offside one time, standing all by himself, pretty much with nobody near 20 yards of him, and he's offsides. Uh, I don't understand that. I mean, after the first one, I get it, but when we had so many in that first half, you kill every kind of attack that we could even attempt. Always offsides, and then when you're not offsides, you're not getting in position. So,
Can you
but
get a yellow card from being that offside?
I don't know, but negative 17 degrees is shorts weather. Okay, see, there you go. See, when it was 12, just take the coats off, go hang out outside. Coach, teachers are like, "What are you doing, youngster? Get back, get your coat on." But yeah, no, that's kind of how I saw that front line. I definitely thought Nweri would shine. I think Nweri definitely would shined in the game. First half, if we didn't have him on the pitch, I don't know what we would have produced. I was hoping also that Erdogan would contribute a little bit more, and I mean like GA. I know he does a lot of work for us, but in terms of
That's
um,
look.
creating for us, he had one big chance created, but took one shot, was blocked. I mean, I expect I would like to get more from him. He needs to give us more if we're not Saka's not around. Like he needs to contribute because
He
yeah.
he's running around like a headless chicken.
Well,
He needs a defined role. It's either he needs to be in the 10, or you need two strikers up front, which would be Tissard and Wineri probably play
uh,
play Odegaard behind those two
mm,
because I, it just they've been working on trying to get Odegaard into the attack the last 6-7 games, and this one it just looked like he was running all over the pitch. I guarantee he had the
I don't.
most
Oh, wait.
mileage.
Once again, I don't know what you saw, and once again, I don't feel like I saw that. I just he does a lot in the sense of coordinating or managing the way that our midfield runs. I mean, midfield wasn't that good. Partey was having an off day. Nobody really shined in that midfield. He needs to do that for me, but he didn't. But I don't know about the running with a chicken with a head off thing. I don't know if I saw that.
He was just everywhere.
Well, that's where he's usually everywhere. So I don't. So when you say that to me, that's like what he is. He'll be supporting the defensive side of the ball, midfield, and then he will be up pressing with the front line. So anywhere in between is where you're going to see him,
Yeah, but
right?
he was mostly up front. But
Yeah.
he
Well, I
just
want him up
was
front, but I want him to
flying all
contribute
around.
goals. As Mr. Tom here has got a question: is there any part of the Sterling transfer that can be considered a positive?
His agent made money.
Oh, there you go. Somebody's getting some dollars. I mean, he kept his salary, right? He's going to get his salary anyways. The only positive I can see out of it is that Arsenal probably realizes, look, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You should learn something from that, especially when you already had a player on loan. Getting a second player on loan, um, who there's something to be said about Kai Havertz coming from Chelsea in a way that he probably felt about it, and the way that Sterling came from Chelsea and the way he felt about it. A little bit different. I think they were happy to see Kyle Havertz leave. They didn't want anything to do with Sterling. You know what I mean? Two different thought processes there. So the only positive, like I said, is hopefully Arsenal has learned. We don't just because you
How,
can doesn't mean you should. Just because you get a really good deal, we got a really good deal, right? We only had to pay what, half of his salary or a third. Doesn't really matter. What does matter is that you actually get a player that can contribute. We didn't get that.
and what's bad for him, Gary? He's right at the grasp of having this one final decent contract or big contract, and he's not gonna get it because the game's just passed him by.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If he gave us, some highlights that we can say, look, this was good. Yeah, I can see it, but he doesn't even give us that. Yeah, back to the game. Steven says sloppy, disjointed, and Sterling's uselessness exposed for all to see. Trossard is not a nine, and Neri was the only one to do anything. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with everything you said there. Trossard as a center forward doesn't work. Maybe an inverted nine, if we really did that, that might work. But I don't think the way we used him, he's not like the little chip that Erdegaard put into him, which didn't work. I think as somebody, I was watching a show that watching, I think it was the Canon podcast, and they were saying that the way we played in that first half is as if we had Kai Havertz in its as a center forward, and I think that's one of the things I don't like about Arteta is he doesn't adjust to what he has. Right? We have
Yeah.
3 attackers in the squad. He still wants to go with 3 up top. I find it, like it's still, like we don't have there's no opportunity to change anything with a bona fide starter because we've got all of them out there, and we've got what, kids on the bench that could come in. He's not going to use them. We've seen that, and then he's going to have to make some plan Z. I think that's what Merino is, a plan Z. Um, that was not definitely a plan A, B, or C for sure. So I think so for me. This is where Arteta, I can't back him on the way that he handles adversity, in the sense that, okay, I don't have this player, so what do I adjust? No, no, no. I just play the same way. And it
But
doesn't.
but
The players like Trossard is not Kai Havertz. Trossard is not a striker.
he delivered a great pass though for the second
Yeah,
goal.
no, we're talking striker, so we're talking about the first half. You want to get into how the last 10 minutes goes? We'll get there. But for now, let's talk about that first half. Trossard cannot play striker, right? He can maybe inverted nine if we have the wings to support him. We definitely don't have that.
Oh,
But
he was doing well on that 4-4-2 when we tried it for that 4 or 5 game.
well, like I just told you, Arteta doesn't like to adjust his formations to suit the talent, skill set, and the depth of the squad that he has.
As much as I hate the formation, it's about time to go to a 4-2-3-1.
Whatever we need to do, we need to do something so that the players, so we don't kill, and where he cannot play every game, and Martinelli's not coming back just yet. So we need to be able to finish games off earlier so that we can do what we've done before, is maybe get some of our defensive players in and see out the game. We did that this time, but it was for a different reason. When we were young, we didn't care about how cold it was. Then I got older and wear two jackets. There you go. Yeah. When you're young, you're fearless, right? You're fearless. And
Out in the snow, I would be just like this t-shirt, non-t-shirt, a little bit thicker t-shirt than hoodie on top.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Sterling did assist his first league goal. League goal, is that right? I don't even remember that, but yeah, he did, but we're not seeing enough contribution from him, and he's getting minutes, right? So it's not working. It's not working. Yeah, yeah. PX says he hates the cold. He moved from the boogie down further south to the Carolinas, where it's definitely not getting cold there. Yeah, you're not seeing like 8-degree weather there, right? So
Last
yeah,
month, all 50 states off snow, Gary.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, everything's fine, right? Not weather patterns aren't affected by this. What's going on here? So
Uh,
when you say all 50 states, right? I mean, we're talking Miami. It don't usually snow there. In Florida, it doesn't usually snow there. Maybe on the Panhandle, but
yeah,
it's
it
still,
snowed there.
yeah,
Snowed in Hawaii.
that's
Snowed
crazy.
in,
That's crazy.
snowed everywhere.
Everybody, check out We All Love Leads. Mr. Tom will be doing that. I assume tomorrow, maybe, to talk about how things went today. Really good showing in the last 10 minutes for them. Stroit, I think is that Strit Stroit. I don't know how you say his name, but he had a brace all from his head. Very nice showing from him. Mm. That's the one thing I keep saying about Leeds is they can play 90 minutes because they can always bring somebody on that might make a difference, and the man made a difference today. BX sold is a fact of life here. Use it now, but hate the heat. Oh, cold is a fact here. Oh yeah, yeah. And where you are in Canada, yes. I'm not sure who's worse, William or Sterling. Both set new standards in complete incompetence. They give a new meaning to dead word. I don't know about complete incompetence because that would mean that they don't know what they're doing. I don't think that's the case. Can they do what they need? Are their talents eroded? Yes, they're getting old, man.
I
Deadwood,
think
I'm
we're,
not sure. They're not even Deadwood. All right. I mean, they should be put out to the pastures, right? Let them just
you,
graze, man. That's not. They
you,
can't be
you
out there
definitely
in the
want to
races.
grab one of those boards and
Yeah,
ocean to float on.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't.
But
It's not complete incompetence. That would be what Arsenal did when they actually said Sterling, come on over. That can be considered complete incompetence. But their playing style, no, not sure. I think you might have used the wrong word. At least for me, you used the wrong word there. I don't think
I think
they just can't play football the way we need them to play.
Williams' deal was worse because I believe he had that appearance bonus and he played 3 times as many games as he did actually played. He had
Mm,
two games out of like 30 that he played. Just
yeah, yeah. You've seen the light come in around to the truth about Arteta. Yeah, no, I said Arteta's coaching is to be desired, and that's going to happen when you've only been coaching for 5 years. I don't believe what we're seeing is a surprise. I think somebody who's learning their craft, they're not going to be good for a bit. So if that's the way they went, got a new fan to the show, Rookie. Welcome to the show. You did put a comment out. It did get trapped. It had bad words in it, so I didn't even bother to show it to people. Or BX usually leaves it in there, but it must have slipped by. But did see you, Rookie. Welcome to the show. Sterling really finished, and that's the other part to this. Sterling should not have. We should have not have kept him on. I mean, his whatever. I don't know how the loan situation is set up, but there's no way we should have kept that loan. We should have brought somebody else back. I rather brought Vieira back than kept Sterling on. So at least,
I,
yeah,
I said this last week, Gary. Is like I don't remember like seeing two teams that actually brought players back because usually the loans are year for the year. You can't bring them back, but it was a surprise to see
Obviously,
two
that's not
teams.
true because the team that loaned out can actually say no, they don't want him anymore. So there's definitely some coordination
I,
between the teams, whether or
I'm
not a
not
player
sure what
goes or
it
goes.
is, but
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of times that like you going back to Vanger that he wanted to bring players back, and
Yeah.
because of the way the deal was structured, they cannot bring them back,
True.
even though it's just a regular loan. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
There you go. Got Dad in the house. Welcome to the show. Mr. Philip Luther Hall
Real,
is in the house. Welcome to the show.
real Philip.
Yeah, this is the first Philip, or as Mr. Tom calls him, Big Phil. Everybody saying hello to Dad. Why is Mr. Tom hiding? Uh, he's always hiding. He's a wee man. Gary's dead. I want to pay for your buffet. Me? And I want to let you. There you go. Mr. Tom will let anybody pay for his dinner. Yes, everybody saying hello. Yep. Dad says, no way Mr. Tom pays. That's crazy. Crazy talk. I haven't Mr. Tom pay for everything if I had a choice. All right. So here we go. Steven says, heaven forbid we try a 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 or any other formation that would give our opponents something to think about. We are so easy to play against. Worst game management in the league. Yeah, I mean, I think the stubbornness is there, but I think and not necessarily incompetence, but I definitely believe the immaturity of Arteta as a manager, coach, is there. I think he feels like, and I think this is where he's wrong. Players don't adapt, and I think players would adapt because he asked for that. He asked for his players to be able to adapt. Yes, I brought you in as a center back, but guess what? I want you to play right back. They adapt. Sahir went through all the variations of player positions on the pitch, settled in one, but he can always play others, I believe. So I think that's where Arteta gets a little bit. His immaturity is there, is that he looks at players for their versatility, and then he doesn't expect them expect them to maybe be versatile in a different formation. It's all about instruction, my man. If you get it into them,
It's
they'll be
funny,
fine.
and it's funny because he switched to the back three. It got him faked up.
He didn't switch to a
He,
back three. I believe he had no choice but to play it if he wanted to see out. And I think that's where the some people say the stubbornness comes in. He really wanted to play a four, but he looked at his players and said, "Nah, I'm going to stick with the three gives us the better chance." I mean, we didn't really have anybody who could fit. It's one of those things where he adjusted to the talents in the squad. And
it,
now he has
it,
better talent. He still feels like he has to do it, even when some of the talent's not there.
and just if he had his druthers now when there he wouldn't have been starting yesterday. We wouldn't have seen him this weekend. He'd be
If
sitting on
who?
the bench. When Harry, if he had his druthers, if everybody wasn't hurt, he wouldn't be playing because when Odegaard was out, he wasn't playing. Should have
Yeah.
been playing.
Some people think he wasn't ready.
And it's
So there's two
bullshit.
sides to it. Well, no, I mean, in Arteta's eyes, he wasn't ready.
Well, in Arteta's eyes, nobody's ready because this is the first time in 5 seasons that he's actually playing academy players. Who knew you could
What
play
academy
academy
player did
players?
he not play that he should have? Because I don't remember any of the academy players that didn't play for us where we got, oh, we missed that one.
That does neither one of the two play and look like they ended up played last
I'm just
year.
asking, you said over a 5-year period we didn't play any academy players until today, until this season. And I'm asking you, what players did we miss out on from our academy in the previous 4 years, in the first 4 years of
So
Arteta's
some
career?
some could say heaven. Some could say the guy that went to Man United, 10 goals in a under 21
Yeah.
against Liverpool.
I'm asking you about the 4 years. You're telling me about this year. Tell me about the 4 years before, not this year, because this year, yeah, you have all those names are in your fresh in your head. What
The,
do you recall a player outside of like Hutchinson maybe that we didn't bring in, that we didn't give an opportunity that could have contributed to us?
you had lots of Arsenal greats say that Charlie Patino was the most talented player that ever walked through hell in, and he didn't get much of a
Where is he
chance.
now?
Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is he if he was that talented, he would shine, right?
It's so weird. Some of those kids just plateau, and
Mm. Yeah, yeah. As Rookie says here, Arsenal are so close, but so far away. Mentally, of this team is shock. Yeah, mentality of this team is shocking. Yeah, and, and like I said, I think some of that stems from. I believe it stems some from the manager, the mentality that you want to get out of your players. Like he is supposedly a Pep disciple, but I've seen Rodri play a style of football that I don't think any of our players will play. Right, where
nah,
they will get to the razor's edge and try to and dominate and try to be aggressive in that midfield. We don't do that, and this is a player that you know Mikel would have actually helped manage and not manage but coach, right? So definitely the mentality is not there, but I think that some of that stems from Arteta. He just doesn't have that, and I don't think as a player he was that. So hopefully we didn't lose Tony there, but so yeah. So I think that's kind of where that mentality is. I think it's comes to a little bit, a lot of it trickles down, and I think hopefully the mentality that we have in Wary right now doesn't get thwarted and weaned off of him. So yeah, I'm just skipping over some of the comments here about Dad joining, but we've got Sterling couldn't beat a random making a debut. Yeah, no, yeah. We've seen um, we've seen Martinelli come in against Ashley Young and not be able to make a move on him. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's because we've been told not to or you can't. Yeah, I did. New here. I know the rules now, so I repeat it. Clean version. KSC. I hate you. No, you know what? Others will probably enjoy what you have to say. I just don't read them. That's me. I don't usually read them. So, you know, some of them say, yeah. So, no, you can say you can speak how you want. I think eh, I don't really have many rules. If everybody, you can go back and forth, banter, and all of that stuff. I'll just be treat people how you want to be treated, kind of thing. Should be that easy. Yeah, my dad, the greatest man who ever lived. I think that's what he means there, right? And where is Dad? You really think this all on Arteta though? No, it's not all on Arteta. I mean, I believe that Arteta, Edu, the recruiting team, and and that management squad all have a lot to do. Players also, to some degree, but I'm not sure about. I think the players are who they are, and I think Arteta's job is to get the best out of him. Not sure he can. Not sure he knows how to. So that's the other part to that, at least from what I can see. I mean, I think a lot of people said, Martinelli would be a player they would like. I think it was Klopp said he would. That's a player he would like to bring in. Why would he say that? And then Arteta, since then, is this basically what we've seen out of Martinelli as a player that nobody wants. So is that is that Arteta saying, "Hold my beer, I'll show you why you don't want him"? You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, yeah. I think you're saying truly never rated Sterling was only good at City because of being surrounded by the best players on the planet. His decline at Chelsea was predictable. I think he's gotten old. I think that's if that's what you mean. Yes, the player with that kind of pace eventually it wears down. Right? He usually had that pace and quickness and ability to. I thought if he came in, we would get more penalties because of it. It looked like it was going to happen early when he came in, but he just doesn't have it. The step's lost. So, like I said, I think he's gotten old. That's all. He hasn't learned how to play with the aging, and that's what some of the good players will do. Like their skill sets don't diminish. Maybe some of their natural talents do, such as speed. Yeah, yeah. Arteta's like I said, 5 years in, 5.5 years in now. Or it's 5 years now, 5 years in a bit, right? So I don't know what you guys are expecting from a manager with 5 years on their CV. What do you expect them to do? And I talk about this all the time. There's not that many managers who have been as successful as a lot of fans want. There's like one or two, I think, that have done it. So the average is not happening, and Arteta is not the average. And I don't think he was supported with necessarily the assistant coaches and the players that he needs to actually succeed. So that's where, some of it's Arteta, some of it's Edu and the recruiting squad, recruiting team. So Arteta tactically is good, quite good for me. We just don't back him enough. Yeah. And then some of that, some of that. My understanding is that's on him. He doesn't want to bring in some of those players that will tactically be able to answer the call for the things he wants. He has a certain kind of style, a certain type of play he wants to bring in. Anybody who's like on a little bit of the edge there, he's more likely not go with that little player that's maybe a little bit more, uh, I don't know, friendly. I don't know, not as aggressive. He goes for. We need a combination of all those things. At least I think we do. I mean, if you look at it, Virgil van Dijk, right? I mean, everybody says he's a really good footballer, but lately we've been talking about the red cards he didn't get, right? And I think that's where you play on that edge. And sometimes you get called out for it, and sometimes they just let you go because you're that good. On most, one on one, he's that good, right? So I kind of feel like your reputation beseeches you sometimes, and you're able to get away with things, right? I mean, Rodri gets away with a lot because he's one of the best in the world at his job. So, I kind of feel like you go out there and you play the best you can. They will give you what you want. I think that's what Arteta doesn't get out of his players. Sometimes they're holding back. So there you go. Yeah. Any specialist in any position gets canned. Yeah. I don't know what that's referring to, but yeah, everybody's getting canned anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Philip, legendary status. There you go. Get that man a statue. We probably could have made money off some of the prospects with two-way. Let's be real. Well, that's the one part. Like at some point, you have to decide whether or not they are going to be part of your squad, or whether you should, loan them out and maybe see if they can do something elsewhere. We don't do that, and then those players just walk. Right? All these players that have left us, they should have even been out there either being sold early. We kind of held on to them a little bit too long, and then they had control of the situation. So that's on, I think that's on Arsenal. Pick one, pick whoever you want. It's taken 4 years to bring in a striker, and now he's left with a huge problem of his own making. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what that means. I don't know what of his own making. What? I don't think you're talking about Jesus because he got injured. That's not of his own making. I don't think he chose to. He didn't do something to create. He spent all of last year trying to get back. I doubt he did something to jeopardize that. So I think you mean something else, right? You let me know. Maybe Arteta shouldn't have bought a million. Yep, yeah, no. Defensively, we always are bringing in defensive players. I mean, we know we needed strikers, and the first player that comes out when we're trying to market what's going to happen in the summer is Subamendi, right? And that doesn't sound like a striker or a wing to me. Yeah. Rosie, Superman has Gary's dad on his pajamas. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of information there, Mr. Tom. I don't know any of that. And Mika Barrow wasn't even given a look, and look what he's doing at Monaco. Yeah, that you're right. That's one. That's why I was asking Tony who, but you're right. Mika Barrow should have gotten a chance, and some of that's on Arteta, and the way that we recruit. I mean, I don't. What is the big giant telling him in terms of the players that he has in the academy? Is Arteta not even care? But I think the fact that we're not getting, I think, what these players are worth by potential, that's on Arsenal. Whether or not Arteta wants them or not, somebody needs to be getting those players out there and getting them sold for more than what we have been selling them for, especially on potential. I mean, definitely on potential. Where is the supposedly great coach that makes players improve? Because all I see is players struggling and declining. Takes the youngsters long to follow into decline. I hope you're wrong about the youngsters. I don't know. Tony must have lost a little bit of whatever's going on at the house there, or he had to step away. He doesn't usually tell me. He just steps away. So let's see. He's back here. Tony's back.
Yep. but phone calls always
Oh, so there you
kills
go.
myself.
So yeah, yeah. Dean Cain wanted to be Philip when he grew up. Yeah, I guess that's Superman from the commercials. Yeah, I was kind of going through these things while you're on. These young players and agents will put up with Arteta's nonsense. You need players with an ego, not a rookie manager. Well, I hear you on some of that, but I think the other part of that is the people that do supposed to do their job. I don't think Arteta's job is to sell the academy players, and I think that's where somebody messed up. Cheeto Martin shouldn't have got to the point where he could just walk. Arsenal should have either got him out on loan to get him more. I think that's how you build an academy with the intention that certain players will get the opportunity to make the first team. Otherwise, why do you have them? Right,
That's
especially when your best player comes from that said academy. Right. So,
what I don't like, Gary, is that you had somebody like Freddie Lundberg that was great at developing the players, critical in Smith Rowe, critical in Saka, and there was other people in that age group. Some of them spun off, not, but as soon as he left, there was definitely like a void there.
yeah.
Then you had the big German come in there and murder Saka. I don't think he's the right person to be leading the
Yeah.
academy. I think Walcott, that was another failure type thing. It's like you got all this natural talent, but you
Hmm.
don't do anything with it. And when you're short on depth, guess what? Those guys need to be playing cups and other games because they're not play hard. You know what? When Harry does every time he plays really hard, Gary, because he wants to prove that he has a place on the team. Arteta doesn't see it.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. No, I see your comment. Went back to your comment, and I mean, you said Arteta is an amateur. Any specialist in any position gets canned. I didn't. It didn't. I didn't get it. Sorry, but I didn't get it. But I get it now that it's about Arteta. Um.
Have you ever seen any? I can't really recall any sports where you just have all these guys that don't have a set position. It's like two or three positions, almost all the way through the Arsenal squad. It's
Who's
weird
got
to me.
not that many have multiple positions. I mean,
That's what I'm
Rhea,
saying.
Saliba, Calafiori. I'm sorry, Rhea, Saliba, Gabriel, Erdogan don't have multiple positions, right? Saka doesn't have multiple positions, right? So
Dude,
there are players that don't.
Saka can if he
No, no,
needs to.
no. You just said they have multiple
Yeah,
positions. He doesn't have multiple positions. He plays where he plays, right? Um, I don't think Rice is playing where he plays. He plays the 8. Partey is when he starts. He plays the 6, right? The only time we make adjustments is for injuries, and I don't think that's where it's managed correctly. But in reality, Partey is the 6, Rice is the 8, Erdegaard is whatever the 8 or 10 or whatever he plays. So I mean, our midfield. I
but
mean, through the middle, we are pretty solid in terms of where we are.
but
Our
part
fullbacks do adjust, but right now Ben White was always our right back. We didn't have a staple left back, and now, we'll see what happens when Ben White comes back. But I believe our you know our goalkeeper, backline, and midfield, are pretty set right now.
it's watching that you probably didn't catch it because you didn't catch some of the other things I saw watching it just before we started. But it's like to me, it seemed like half the time Timber was up ahead of Partey. They kind of kept switching back and forth. But it seemed like
Timber was above Partey. You would expect that, no?
GG
You were
expect
saying our
Partey.
fullback should be behind our defensive mid. I don't know. I don't know about that.
But
Spencer's still
Partey was
working on the toilet, people. For those who didn't know. Now you know.
Partey was playing the fullback position most of the
Well,
time.
we do that inversion thing sometimes, right? So not all the time, because I know when Partey made that pass to Timber, it was you know Timber, it was like the communication was off. Yeah, Turney's a specialist on the left fullback. Yeah, yeah. No, I think right now Arteta is. I mean, I don't
Can,
think we're missing Tierney. We don't really have.
can
He's
I
not. He
just
doesn't have to start for us right now. We've got the answers right now. So I don't think Tierney's better than Skelly. So
also
there's no
don't
reason
think
to bring
he's a
him in.
specialist?
Yeah, but I don't think we need to bring him in. Yeah, I'm paying to
No,
the.
no,
I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention.
not
Yeah,
a specialist, Gary, because
yeah,
for his country, he plays center back.
yeah. That's a lot of that going on. Yeah, no, I hear you, Steven. I didn't want Arteta when we first were choosing. I wanted a seasoned veteran to come in because I thought our squad, the way Arsenal works, we should be bringing in better players, and didn't do that. Didn't do that. Yeah, Per Matasek, I can't think of his name, but I we do have talented players. I just don't think they are managing their careers well. Like, whether they're going to be with Arsenal or not. I mean, we're seeing a lot of teams sell their players for more than us and stuff like that. Not that they always pan out, but I think they need to get them the experience. So yeah,
I think we'll be going to France to go shopping this summer, Gary, because they were talking about going buying top academy players from people like PSG.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but guess what? Guess what's happened at PSG? The Qatari funds, like, we're spending way too much money into you. It's not turning us enough profit, so we're turning off the valves, and you guys are not getting as much
yeah.
money,
Well, I
which
mean,
means they will have to become a selling club, like
yeah.
some of the
Well,
German
I mean,
clubs.
for the amount of money and stuff that they have spent, they should have Champions Leagues on their resume, and they don't. Yeah, Cheeto, Amari, Kuzi, Dewsbury. I mean, Amari Hutchinson for sure is one we may have missed. Dewsbury, I don't forget where he is right now, but I mean, like I said, I don't think we've missed out on that many, but it would be good to have academy players be part of it, and that is on the way that Per Mertesacker and Arteta and Edu and the recruiting team, the director of football happens. Got Zanzi in the house. Said he's watching the '89 Triumph victory, Triumph video. Yep, yeah, no, yeah. Every Monday, 12:30 a.m. You guys are across the pond. Come join us. Yeah, no, everybody can lose your job. Everybody can lose a job. Yeah. No, we won. We won, but there are negative things that come out of it. I don't mind talking about them. I mean, we're gonna get into. We haven't got into the second half yet, so let's do that. Let's do that. Let me go through this chat, and then we'll get into the second half because that's where the we continue. The good things happen. The good things happen there. First half not so good. Second half really good. So, all right. Problem is that Partey is better at the six right now. He's much better at moving. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the thing. I don't know when Zubamendi comes in, where I think letting right Partey go. And do you do that? I forget what Zubamendi's position and role is, but does he does I looking at Zen and Wary, I'm like, what happens if we put him in the midfield and let him kind of run it as a creative mid? What would we get out of that? Because we know he can shoot and stuff, and we know he can pass as well. So I think there should be problems that Arteta has, and he might have to sit some players he supposedly likes, right? So yeah, next season you've got a midfield of Rice, Erdegaard, and Wary. I say, what is Zubamendi all about? Why are we bringing in this? I think we're going to pay like 70 mil for him. You're going to bring in a 70 mil to center mid for what? What are we going to do with him? I think you, I think you would, I think we got to figure out
If
how we're
I
going to use him. Like if all the marketing is all about bringing him in, right? So Why are we bringing him in if he's not going to start for us? There's a lot of money to be spent on him, and he's a defensive mid as well, right? So yeah, like I don't think is Rice better than Zubamendi? That's the thing. I don't even know. I don't know what he is, but is he better than Zubamendi? You know,
Do we even know his position yet? I don't
whose
think we do.
position?
Rice's position.
Yeah, that's the other part to that. He hasn't solidified a spot where he's actually performed, I think, at an accelerated level. All right. Yeah.
I think he looks better in attack, but there's not one that he's holding down. I would say because it just seems like we're stuck between we can keep you back here and you can protect, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think you need two holding midfielders. It's just,
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying there, BX, but I mean, my understanding was that he was an attacking midfielder, so a winger, not so much, but definitely an attacking mid is where he spent most of his time. So I think we could do with that. If you told me, how would you get the best out of our team? Saka on the right. If you get a striker, Isak, Gukares, Sesko, I don't even know if he would start for us at this point. But if that was your wings, right, like a Williams and a Saka out wide, and you had an attacking mid of Erdogan, I think that would threaten some back lines. What does that do for Erdogan and Rice? I'm not sure, but I would like to see that. Watch Zubamendi go elsewhere. I'd put money on it. The PR is shameless from ours, and that's the other part to this, right? We're trying. There's a January window, and next thing we're doing, we're talking about a summer window with a player we have not solidified. Supposedly gentlemen's agreement, and supposedly gentlemen's agreements with Arsenal and Arteta usually go through. I mean that's Rice was supposedly one of those, and it went through. Right now, I have no idea what to do with Rice unless we play a double pivot. Yeah, and then we do that. What does that do for? What does that do for Erdogan if Nweri's the man, right?
That kills your attack.
Yeah. See, you bring Zubamendi in. I think he can probably do a better job than Rice. But let's get into it. Second half started out. I don't know about how you felt about the second half, but for me, that second half we looked much better. I think we adjusted some things. Should have hopefully adjusted those things in the first half, but we definitely adjusted those things in the second half, and we looked like we were more likely to score in that second half.
One person should have been escorted off the pitch, but
yeah, no, I was hoping that Sterling would definitely be subbed off in that second half, to start the second half.
The announcers, I mean, they probably said how terrible his game was 15 times and said he needed to be subbed at halftime about 3 times. So it tells you what they think about his performance. It was really bad.
Yeah. Arsenal Arteta didn't take what he saw and said, I'll change it. And for me, that's sometimes that loyalty, blinds his ability to actually manage and see out a game. We saw, and I go back to it every time, Tavares get pulled because he just wasn't working out. And what was Sterling doing for us? For me, I didn't see it, so he should have got pulled as well. And that's like I said, immaturity as a manager, coach. Arteta,
I think Tavares could play in that spot. I think he could be the left winger.
Yeah, but you're talking about like some imaginary, some dreamland thing. I'm talking about when he came in and he didn't perform in the role that he was given. You're talking about something that wasn't going to happen at Arsenal. He was not going to play wing for us.
I think him, Zombie, everybody.
He was asked to do a role. The role was to defend. He can't defend. You keep bringing up this wing back stuff. We don't play with the wing backs like that.
But it's easy to convert a wing back.
He can't play
And
the role for us, Tony. He can't play the role for us, Tony.
he can play a winger. Saka was a
Not the
wing
way
back.
Arteta wanted it, and he wasn't going to change. Like I hear what you're saying, but he wasn't. Arteta didn't change. Didn't give him an opportunity to change. Like I said, immaturity at management, and Arteta the way he manages his players. If he saw that, I would hope he uses it because we could have definitely, if he could play on the left side, right, it would have been good to bring him
It,
in. Like I said, I
it,
hope the Zubamendi thing isn't PR and like PR in a sense that we don't even have a chance to get at him now.
I just I'd rather split that in half because
But
we
all
need
right,
to
you're
have
talking about you bring. I didn't mean to bring up. I didn't need to bring up Tavares, but what I really
no
wanted to talk
no
about
not
was the second half in general. Let's talk about the second half. So, tell me about what you saw in the second half.
um I think the play was a little bit more crisper starting out. I mean, when Harry was everywhere, I still just I didn't like how much. I just really didn't like how much Odegaard was moving all over the front half of the pitch. It's not like you because you had Timber and you had Partey there, which was going back and forth. So that he didn't have to worry about playing defense. All he had to worry about was
He should
attack.
never have to worry about playing defense in a bit.
I don't get it either, Gary. It makes me want to pull all my hair out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but Arteta wants it's what he wants from him. He's attacking midfielder. 2 years ago, 10+ goals scored. I think any season he can get more than 10. He's very accurate. He just needs a chance.
Yeah,
And if you have somebody like Winery feeding you or making the runs, he's getting pretty smart at making the runs.
yeah,
You got to the side that can spot the runs and in open space. So
yeah.
I mean, there's
Just not as a center forward.
probably not.
No, he can't because he doesn't. It doesn't like whatever role he plays as a center forward doesn't work. We don't get any creativity out of him there.
He did have a 4-4-2.
No,
That
we
was
don't.
short.
This season, we're not getting it. Not this season. No, you're talking about the history. No, like I said, that first half, we looked better. We looked like we were more have an opportunity maybe to score, just not able to finish out. Get things in the right position, so we could score. And then, basically with 10 minutes left, I think. With about 10 minutes left, no, actually, with about 20 minutes left in the game, Arteta decides, you know what? I'm going to make some subs. First sub he makes, Mikel Merino comes in for Sterling. Later on, takes Partey out. Jorginho comes in. Calafiori comes on for Skelly. Not a more, for me, not a big deal. Skelly probably shouldn't be playing 90 minutes every game. And later on, right before the game ends, Tierney comes on for Trossard. But that Moreno and then Jorginho, I think, moves is what makes a difference for us. Even and then the Calafiori one finishes it all off in terms of a trifecta of bringing in subs that all contributed and helped us get this win. You know, and during this time, you've got Nweri, hitting the post, clipping the crossbar, right? These things are starting to open up a little bit for him. He's able to cut inside and make some plays. I think, hopefully Arteta has actually learned from that game to see why things seem to open up for the team. But yes, Merino comes in and the game is, I think Leicester City doesn't really want to sit there with a 0-0 score. They might want to try. The game sort of opened up a little bit. Arsenal definitely was able to take advantage of it with their subs. And Weary was able to put a cross in, and Merino gets on the end of it, and then on a counter, I think it was Calafiori, and I think, if my understanding was, Erdogan was the starting point for that one. Calafiori gets the ball out to Trossard. Trossard crosses it, and Merino's there to finish it and bring it home. So, Yeah.
But that's like what a traditional striker would do. That's what your Oliver Giroud would be, is being in those positions that he was in.
Yeah.
It felt like he was doing anything difficult. He was
Well,
doing what his strike.
it must be
He's
difficult because Trossard can't do it. It must be
he,
difficult to some degree because have you seen Kai Havertz in those positions? So, like you keep saying, it's easy to do. It's not obviously that easy to do because we've
it's
got two
easy to
players
do, but
that play center forward. They don't do that enough for me to say it's that easy to do. And there must be
it
a
is
reason,
that
right?
easy to do. But it's difficult because of Arteta.
So it's not easy to do, right? And the only reason
He,
why that it was opened up for Merino is because of game state, right?
yeah.
So not the way we play. The way
Coming
we
in as
play,
an
yeah,
emergency striker in the last 20
yeah,
minutes. I
yeah,
mean, that's
yeah. When I saw that the way he played, I was like, that this is all good and great, yeah, but it's not gonna. It may not work for us long term because I don't think Moreno can give us that what we saw in the last 20 minutes for 70 minutes, right? So, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I
come.
said, I hope this Zubamendi thing is not the BS that it talk about. Yeah, that's the other part. Partey, there's talk of him going to Real Madrid, right? They had Partey there. They would enjoy that. That's the thing that if Arteta were to let Partey, not really give Partey an opportunity to stay, and he goes to Real Madrid, then you're like, wow, we are pretty bad at this thing. Japan, coming to Arsenal in January was all BS. I mean, I don't all this. I mean, this Arsenal just needs to just close. I don't like this. We had a chance. No, 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 close, close. And I want Arsenal to be like it be that what they didn't want to come. We gave them all the opportunities to come. They didn't want to come. As opposed to it feels like they don't even. We don't even get to that point.
I feel you're the same way you are about shooting goals. You're like, shoot, shoot, shoot. You're like,
Yeah,
spin
you
the
take your
cast, spin
shot,
the
right?
cast,
If you're gonna, if
spin the
you
cast.
you need the answers, go get the answers, right? Don't like be dilly dallying on the ball. Just no, just go put that thing.
I just,
There's a question for us here. Lewis Skelly, Bargav, welcome to the show. I meant to say hello to you. You were there. You've joined us a while back. Good question here. Uh, Miles Lewis Skelly. Does he stay at left back or do you move into midfield? His preferred position where he's actually done pretty well for the in the academy. Yeah.
it's kind of hard for me to move in because he's played better than anybody else we've
But
had
is that
there.
his best position? That's like saying Saka. He can play
Yeah,
left. He can play left back. He can play right back for us. No, the question is, do you play him at his best position or not?
I mean, if we stick with him at left back for now.
Do you play him at his best position or not?
Do we know that's his best position?
He's a midfielder by trade. That's all he's done.
No, Sacco is defender if I could.
He's a midfielder. He plays left back for us, yeah, but he's a midfielder.
I said Sacco was a
Saka
defender
is
for us.
not a fullback for the academy. Saka played, I believe, as a forward, wing. I think a wing, but he was not a fullback. So I think there are preferred positions where you can get the best out of a player. Miles Lewis Kelly. I think if you put Miles Lewis Kelly in the midfield, we've seen it. You've seen when he's moved into the midfield, and play. He can control the ball and shrug players off of him. That's what you want from that position. So for me, what's his best position? Is it left back or is it midfield? You're
Yeah,
saying a preference, meaning just because we don't have left backs, we should just play him there. But I'm saying, where is this? Like, if you said, you know what, you will be the best at your preferred position. What's that
yeah.
position?
What type of midfielder is it, Gary?
A better one than what we got.
Attacking midfielder, defensive midfielder.
I pick
Merino
one.
central midfielder.
Yeah, pick one. We like for me, it's almost like the whole Nweri question.
To me, Gary,
When Saka comes back, do you bench Nweri? No. If you know got your smarts about you, you don't. You figure out a way to play him. What's his preferred position? Can you do that? Can he make it his own? Skelly, my understanding is a midfielder. So
I think you have to figure out what your long term plan is for Rice. See where Skelly wants to play in the midfield. See if those
hmm
two
hmm
compensate each other or not. If they compensate it, then go for it. But
yeah,
you know, hard
yeah,
headed.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think Arteta would have been a coach for Liverpool. Like I said, when I was looking at the coaches and the managers coming in, I didn't think that he had the right profile for what we needed. Arsenal was considered a top six team. They needed a manager that could get them back there pretty quickly, take advantage of the players he has, and if they're gonna back him, let it back him, and then see how that plays out. I think they brought in. They brought in. They brought in. What's his name? Brought in Emery, and they didn't back him. And we saw how that played out. You don't bring in a manager, you don't back him, they leave. You saw that at that team. They brought in managers, they didn't back him, they left. Eventually, they didn't work out. So I think that's where Arsenal needs to. If they're going
And
to bring in
you've
a manager, they
seen
got to
that
back him.
seen it last to Villa what
Mm.
Emery does when he is back. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm surprised how many people last few weeks saying that
Yeah.
Arteta is being backed by the
Yep.
board. He has been the entire time. So why would they just all of a sudden, nope, no money or purse
Mm-hmm.
strings are tied? Can get
Mm.
in there, Arteta. Meanwhile,
Yeah. No. I.
Kroeke's swimming in Scrooge McDucks
Yeah. If
full of gold.
Arsenal does finish the season with nothing to show for it, no trophies, I think there should be considerable conversations about whether they have the right manager or not.
No matter what, Gary, he's still gonna be coaching us next year.
Well, that's not what we're talking about.
I know.
You've been talking about what ifs all day, and now I give you an opportunity. We shouldn't be talking about that because it's not going to happen. That's not what you
No,
know.
that's not what I said. I'm
No, that's
just
what you
saying.
said. You said we shouldn't talk about. It's not going to happen, and I'm saying that's what we want to talk about. Like the question was, should there be conversations if Arteta and Arsenal come out of this season with zero trophies? That's the
Uh,
question. Not,
uh,
I
uh,
don't want
uh,
any reality type stuff. Tell me,
you're
should that
you're
happen?
you're 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 almost in March
The
right
question
now.
was, can you answer my question? Tell
Yes,
me, should there be conversations whether Arteta should stay if he finishes another season with no trophy?
it's March. You're out of
No,
both
no, 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 no,
divisions.
no. Yes or
No,
no, and then and then tell me why.
okay. Yes, you should be looking for somebody, but you should be looking for them now in March. And
That's a
March is
different part
about
of this
us.
conversation, but like right now, the question was, yeah, I get what you're saying. You should always have a list of managers that you want, and that should be the day after you
It,
bring one
it,
in.
it should be a very short list at this point.
Yeah, no, we know. Well, hopefully, we know what that means, and that's the thing. Some people said, when you set up your team a certain way, you should be able to find the manager quickly because you know what you're trying to get out of it, and that's where the director of football comes in. We don't have one right now, so that person that's going to pick the next manager isn't necessarily in the
Did,
house right now.
do you think that's partially why we didn't make any moves because there,
I hope
or
not.
was it?
I hope not, because that would be a terrible, terrible thought process of, we can't do any deals because we don't have a director of football, even though we have lost our best player, our second string striker, right? Not only that, then I think we lost either Martinelli or we lost Martinelli, I think, right? just before that time, like so we had
Yeah.
opportunities to make a difference, and we didn't. Different. Zanzi says the talk regarding Isak is if Nelson Newcastle will sell him if they don't get Champions League football. He wants to go to Liverpool, so that's probably be someone not coming to Gunners. And that's for me. That would be on Arsenal that he doesn't want to come here
Yep.
because he goes to Liverpool. Yeah, that might it looks good, but I know he's an older player, but that also depends on if they keep their players, right? If Salah stays, if Van Dijk stays, if Trent stays, you know, we don't even know if that's going to happen. So yeah, but Arsenal
Says
is like, no, we're going to be here. You're going to get to play with Saka. You're going to get to play with Nweri. You're going to get to play with an Erdegaard that hopefully has revived himself. You're going to get to play hopefully with a Mendy when we bring him in. I mean, you're going to have these two center backs, stalwarts sitting there. I mean, you have a lot more to offer, I think, than Liverpool. But that's how you sell your club. That's where you sell your club.
I did have a question for you watching the game, watching closely what Gabriel does.
Mm.
And I still think it's a no contest that he's a much better center back than what Saliba is.
Mm. Yeah. 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 Ten Hag was not backed, and they didn't want him, so he's got to go. If Partey and Zubamendi leave and Zubamendi comes in, can't see Maslow Skelly ever playing as a DM. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, where is he best suited to play? And does he want to play left back? We've got Lolo in the house. Says, "What's up, Gunners?" We're just here chatting. We got off the rails a little bit, talking about other stuff. But yeah. But now we're talking about the second half.
It's been kind of like a game
The
of
answer is
pinball.
no. I don't know what the question is. Sometimes you guys put this question out. I know I'm a little bit behind, so the answer is no. I guess what is the answer to that? I don't know. Oh, you're saying no. Hopefully, I assume you're saying no to whether you have a conversation about Arteta. I think you do. I think you have a conversation about your manager and coach every season, or else you're not doing your job. So the ambition from the club just isn't there. They're going to owners are comfortable where they're at financially. Yeah, and that's the problem sometimes. They don't want to do anything. Scooby D2 is in the house, going to bed
It,
shortly. Thanks for joining us, my man. Yeah.
it's funny how we take this long circle. It's been almost
Yeah.
10 years now since the Winger out crowd started, and it started not because we were constantly finishing in the top four. It's because we weren't winning the Premier League.
Yeah, we
That's what we wanted.
a third member of the show coming in, and we'll talk about that. We got RD United TV joins us. Thanks for joining us. Saw you over there
Is he
on
doing a
on
tag?
Instagram.
Doing a tag in?
We've got Spencer in the house. Spencer, you don't look like you took a shower, so it doesn't look like the.
No, I took a shower. I took a shower.
Doesn't look like that's really got you.
Dude, I'm just gonna replace the whole damn thing.
No.
Nah, it's about 10 years old. The bolts in the tank was leaking. I'm just like, you know what? It might be cracked too. I don't know. I'll deal with it tomorrow.
Sometimes it's easier just to replace, right? So.
Well, that's the way things are built nowadays.
Yeah. Well, think about it. You just said 10 years, and how things lasting 5 to 10 years is like an abnormality sometimes. I mean,
yeah. Our water's so toxic here anyway. But I didn't expect that to happen today. So
no, you got to do it. Home life is
It's kind of like you buy a hot water tank. It says 9-year warranty. Well, right after it goes past the 9 years.
Hey, well, they didn't lie to you, right? They didn't lie to you. They told you. Yeah. If it doesn't make it to 5 years, then you got a problem. Yeah, so we talked a lot here, Spencer. We went through the first half. Went through the lineup. Went through the first half, how we played. Went through the second half, how it started. Went through the second half, how it ended. Is there something that stood out for you in the game that you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, we talked about it on Saturday. I mean, it was by far the most boring thing I'd watched in a long time. especially for a 7:30 wake up. I mean,
Yeah.
brutal. So-
Gary didn't like my first analogy. To me, I thought it was one of those tennis games that's going 40 advantage, 40 advantage, just
It was bad,
back
man.
and forth.
See, when you say that, that means the team's about to score, and I never felt like any team was going to score in the first half.
I don't know what the equivalent is. You're playing early and you're constantly.
Yeah, but 40
Blob-
advantage.
blob
You know what advantage means is you're about to take the game, right?
Yeah, but
We didn't look
it
like we were
keeps
going.
going
Nope.
back and
We didn't
forth.
look like we were going to score. Guess what? They definitely didn't look like they were going to score.
Yeah, it was
Right. So,
definitely nobody looked like they wanted it at all. They looked like they were like, oh, we have the 10 o'clock, the 7, whatever, 12 o'clock kick. Who cares? Yeah, they were just they were walking through the motions, man. It was by far the most boring game I'd seen all year, and thank God for Mikel Merino because
yeah. So okay, here we go. We're talking about this. I know you can answer this one. Miles Lewis Skelly.
Yep.
Left back, or do we move him to the middle? Where I believe that's where he's that's
Middle.
where he's done. Yeah.
I'm moving him to the middle,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I'll keep an idea that he can play left back for us.
yeah. Who is our left back? If we don't, right now, if we were it's like right now, if we were to move Skelly to midfield, who is our left back if everybody's healthy?
Calafiore, or maybe Timber,
Hmm.
because you got the Ben White situation. But
I
Timber.
like when Timber plays on the left better.
I think, I'm going to go Timber. I'm going to go Timber. If all things are equal and everybody's healthy, it's going to be Timber and White as my fullbacks.
Yeah. I mean, I think Calafiore should get part of the rotation with the center backs right now. I mean, I know it's not really a rotation, but he should be able to get minutes there. So, because we can't play those guys 90 minutes every game. I mean, there needs to be a time when they come out, a time when they don't start, and all those types of things. But yeah, no, I think I mean, okay, you move Skelly to midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Who's our midfield? If everybody's healthy right now. Like right now, if you said, you know what, everybody's healthy.
Rice, Partey, Odegaard.
Rice, Partey. So Skelly doesn't start for us.
He doesn't start. Not in midfield. But that's where you could with him you can do both. You can do the left field. You can do left back. You can do midfield. I mean, Saka started left back.
Who does
too.
he replace in that midfield when he comes on?
For me, Partey.
And then Rice goes to DM. Is that what you would do?
Yeah, Rice is going to DM, and I would play Skelly as an 8. Just because I don't think he has any fear.
Yeah.
Right, like I don't. He plays very.
As Big
very
says
loose,
there, he doesn't
a lot
have.
of confidence.
He will lay down a sliding tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think watching him, he's picked up a lot of Gabriel's good traits because I see him looking longer down the pitch, making those 25, 30-yard passes that we need to do more. So I think he's rubbing off pretty good on him. But Party would be good if it's a final shot. But what's Party now? 32.
He's better than what we got right now. So unless we bring in better, that's the thing. It's like, we let Partey go, but are we bringing in something better than him?
The problem is we have so many missing puzzle pieces because we refuse to integrate youth players, refuse to get players on loan or lower value players. They might do a good job for you, but they're not a newspaper name. I mean, Gabriel was a newspaper name, but he's a great center back. You just look at the player, you scout him, you get what you need. Spencer, I'll ask you this because I've been hearing it the last 2-3 weeks. Do you really think the board is a short supporting Arteta at this point with all the money they've given him for free range of money so far?
No, they failed him in January.
I still don't know because I kept asking myself that question for 2 years. It's like, are they supporting Arteta buying all these players because they want the Champions League, or do they believe in Arteta? And I'm starting to think it's gonna be they wanted him a Champions League.
Yeah. Well, I hope not, because I think everybody likes to win. Everybody likes to put their arms up at the end of the season with a trophy in their hands. So hopefully not. I get the fear that owners just want to continue to make the money train continue, but at some point you want to make some money and put your arms up at the end of the season, right? At some point. Looking forward to seeing White back. Looking forward to seeing him back. We'll see how he feels about football now. Got a cousin in the house, Beverly Grant from Barbados, checking us out. Thanks for joining us, Beverly.
Barbados rum. It's the only thing I can think of with Barbados.
Yeah.
I like the rum.
Yeah. No, this is no. I like I said, I think that as far as Arteta getting back, I mean, they need to. I mean, they did a good. They sold. We sold the players that we did, and supposedly, as far as PSR, we should have the monies to go and buy players. And when people say we shouldn't back him now, like, you should be backing your manager every window, or else he's not the right manager for you, and you continually have to reload, right? I mean, we don't have a striker. We haven't had a striker. Arsenal does this, right? How many years until we get that defensive mid, right? Remember that question? Everybody was saying we don't have that. We don't have that Vieira type player. Get Partey. Partey doesn't really provide for us because he can't stay healthy. Finally stays healthy, and we see what it means. Lose Aubameyang. Don't replace him with a striker. Try to get a center forward in, and wants to show that he can do it, but doesn't work out. Injuries once again. Still back to square one. We need a striker. We need a right wing, that left wing that's going to actually work.
We need 4 of all those positions.
Nobody has 4 of those positions. We need at
Plural.
least 2.
Plural.
We need at least 2. Yeah, I thought you said 4. Definitely need 2 of each. Like, we're going to talk about the way we have our back line set up, where everybody's multifaceted, can play either center back or left back or right back. We need the same thing up top. We barely have that, right? Trossard and Martinelli. Trossard is only played is the most versatile player we have on the front line. He'll play center forward. He'll play left back. That's it. Nobody else. Who else plays in multiple positions? Nobody. Right? And if you're gonna build your back line one way, I think you should build your front line a similar way, because that's kind of the model you've set up. Spencer, what are you gonna say?
Say Havertz played multiple positions. He plays striker and he plays 8.
No, he doesn't. No, front. I said front line. The front line, we don't have a player that's multifaceted there that can play multiple positions outside of Trossard.
I think Saka could play multiple sides.
No, we don't have a player that does. Is what I'm saying.
Because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it can't be done.
No, I think Saka can play anywhere. But what I'm saying is we need more versatility there, and we're not getting it. Like, nobody's just seating Saka, so it's a weird scenario there. But what I'm saying is we need more, because we barely have enough players as it is.
Of course, we need more. We're not crazy on that. I just think you got other players that can play.
We need more so we can be versatile.
To play the right side.
Yeah,
he's done that this year.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, my transfer targets are Watkins and Kuna, and then Delap of Ipswich. Those are the 3 I want.
You want all 3, or you want just one?
All three. Watkins, Kuna, and Delap.
Yeah,
I want Premier League proven players. I don't want any of these European wonders of the Portuguese league. That looks great on YouTube. I don't have time for that. Go get Premier League proven players. Go get me Watkins. Go get me Kuna, and go get me Delap. Delap's 22. He can develop, and Watkins is Mr. Right now.
It's like we went to Portugal 5 times and struck out all 5 times. Right now,
it's not going well. Yeah.
Maybe that will be less without ado. So you're not going with Portuguese speaking players, because you gotta Portuguese football director. So.
No, we'll see. We'll see. I don't. Everybody says we've spent a 700 mil, so then we should stop, and I think that's like bad business. You have to continually put money into the system, or else it's gonna fail. Like you don't hit every time. That's why you have to continually to bring in new players. So just because we spent 700 mil doesn't mean we just stop bringing in players. And then how? So how? If you don't bring in more players, Martinelli and Trossard are your left wings. Is that what everybody wants?
I just think what everybody wants is they want Arteta gone. They think that's the solution for the problem.
Yeah.
That's what they think the solution to the problem is.
And I think
I don't know.
I think they focus too much on the player's name too. Not
player's
what
what?
he does. The players' names. They just go after these big name players and not what the player does with talent.
Trossard is not a big name.
But again, he's not a big name player, but he's a Premier League proven player that came in at instant impact. Watkins, instant impact. Kuna, instant impact. Delap,
Yep.
instant impact. Why are we going to go on these? Well, maybe I'll get Austin and maybe I'll get Sesko. Why not go get the proven thing?
Well, here we go.
Because
I'll tell you this:
and
you went out and
ads.
you got Gabriel. You went out and you got Saliba. You went out and you got Timber. These aren't players that were in the Premier League, and these are all players that yes. But what I'm saying is the same process, the same management that found those players can find those players in the attack is what I'm trying to say. Like I look at how we do. I look at what we've done, and I said, you know what? If you can do it here, you can do it there as well. If you can find defenders that can come in from outside of the Premier League and actually contribute day one, you can do the same thing with your attackers if your model is set up right.
If I give you money and I say, hey Gary, go get yourself a car, and you know that I don't know, let's say a Toyota is 100% going to work. Are you going to take a risk on that other car from that other country, or are you just going to get the Toyota? You're going to get what you know.
Different because you're talking about like practical type stuff, and we're talking about sporting.
I'm practical and also proven. You know you're going to get a lot of time out of it. You know it's going to work.
But practical doesn't get me what I want because Kai Havertz is practical, but I don't want practical. I want somebody who's going to answer the call when I hit that turn. I want him to stay on. I want him to stay on the course when I hit that turn at 100 miles per hour, and he's not going to do that. He's going to skid out every time. That's what, and that's what we want. That's what we're looking for when we talk about, at least in my eyes, a striker, right? So when that opportunity comes, right, that one-time opportunity comes, he hits it, right? That's what we want from our strikers, right? Because we're getting he's practical. He's going to make goals because he's going to be in position to do that. But when we need that, when it's a tight game, 0-0 game, ball comes, we finally get that pass right. The ball comes into the box. I need to have somebody on the end of that that's going to make a deal, and it's not Kai Havertz because he's practical.
And why not? And why not go get a guy that's done it in this league?
No, I'm not. You can go get him inside the league or outside. We've seen it both, right?
I'd rather have him in the league. I know what you're talking about.
It doesn't matter for me. I just want that player. So yes, it's easy to bring in a Premier League player, and it might work out more than likely. But just get that player. I don't think we even get that player sometimes. I think we just we slack a little bit.
On the side with Spencer here, I think we need to buy the Subaru, most reliable car.
I don't want a Subaru for a striker. I don't think you guys want a Subaru for a striker. I don't think you do.
We want Subarus more over.
Osman and Gukares and Isak. Those are the strikers you want, right? They're that's what you want. Isak is a proven commodity right now, right?
Ollie Watkins is more proven than Victor Osimhen in this league.
But you're looking at talent level, so the talent ID has to be there, and that's where I think that's where you got a little jaded. That it has to it can only work if it's Premier League.
Osimhen was so good, he wouldn't be playing in Turkey right now.
Well, no, think about it. Oh, that's we know why that's happening, right? They don't want to pay him, right? It's a little bit different than he's not got the talent, right? I don't think that's the problem. I think you bring Osimhen to Arsenal, he'll do a lot better than Kai Havertz.
2 years ago, we should have had Isak or a Watkins. Yeah. Not hard. Then every year, I don't know how every year you can look at the bottom 3 teams that get relegated, and there's a smorgasbord of 5 or 6 players that you can pick up and take for little money. But
He
we
actually
don't
said
do
Well,
it.
another
personally,
thing right
personally for me, like
Clivert,
we'll get into
another one.
Zanzi's coming here, but like personally for me, I want those hard-nosed players like McGinn, all right? Because I know what I'm going to get from him, right? We've seen it against us, right? And that's the type of player that we're missing, that hard-nosed player. I mean, Zanzi says he don't like any of your choices, but I think that's, you know, you're thinking about what the reality is as opposed to what would make us better. Like Sesko isn't going to make us better than Watkins day one.
No. What about
Sesko's not going to make us better than Kuna, and even Delap has more experience than Sesko. I think Sesko. I think we've already seen, like you talk about mentality. Sesko's mentality was he didn't want to come here and fight for his position. Is my understanding of how that worked out. So if that's the case, right, for me, then you know what? You don't want to go to a big club, all right? You can't want to go to a big club if guess what? I can't guarantee you're going to be a starter here. But like I told you before, if I am Arsenal and I come into Sesko and I say I want you to come, I don't want you to sit on my bench, but you've still got to prove what you got. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I'm not gonna just give you the seat. You got to take the seat, right?
There's players that are available, I think, this summer. And
Mm.
I was thinking about Kudus was one potentially from West Ham. You know, what's his next level? Like West Ham, they did win that European trophy for the Conference League, but which is more than what we've done. But at the same time, like they're what 13th, 14th in the league. I mean, there's players in this league already that have proven they can play. Like there's a kid Bournemouth, Semeno. That's another kid that's really good.
Yeah.
Like there's talent out there. Like he's
Justin Kluivert, right? And what
another
he's
one.
shown up as a young player that we could pick up, and you take a risk on Sesko, you take a risk on Kluivert, right? He comes from the lineage that would maybe he's got it. Same thing as his dad, right? Yeah. I think Osimhen was great for Serie A. They won a trophy. They were talking about bringing in players that won trophies. He's won trophies, and then he's playing in Turkey now, but that has nothing to do with his talent level, right? I mean, he played for Napoli, a big team, won a trophy with them. I think he contributed. So yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but we gotta make it this year first.
No, and the way this season is going in my eyes, just take one game at a time. Arteta needs to, have a master class of the way he coaches and manages this team every game. It's not going to be. It shouldn't be the same because you can't play the same players every time. You're going to have to find ways for us to beat teams. So, like each of these next, the 3 games we've had that we're going to have, we played one of the worst teams with Leicester. We're going to play a little bit better team with West Ham, and we're going to play a really good team, Nottingham Forest, who we've had their number this season. If he doesn't come out of that game with a really solid play, I think that's on Arteta because mentally we should be able to go into that game thinking we got this. Right? Defensively, nobody's beating us, right? That's how it should work. Offensively, we got to find a way to break through, right?
And bare minimum, you should be not giving up any goals this the rest of the year. At bare minimum, based on your defensive tactics.
And you can bring in more help if you need to, right? Late in games, if it's 1-0, you should be able to bring in more defensive solidity, and nobody gets anything from us, right? So
I mean, Martinelli should be back. Sacco, I don't know if he's ever going to be back to full strength this season.
We don't need him to. We can't ask. We can't.
I wouldn't risk him. I would not risk it. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't play him the rest of the year, but I wouldn't force him back and then jeopardize next year as well. Just trying to force him back and still falling up short. I can't see it. Yeah. We need him back healthy.
Yep. Yeah. And, you're bringing Saka back quickly, Tony?
No, I am not. Because Arteta's kept doing it. We have the Winter World Cup. Soon as the Cup's over, Boxing Day, Saka's in there. Ever since then, Saka's been playing 4,000 minutes. World Cup's over. Europe's over. It doesn't matter. He comes right back into the squad way too fast. And like I keep saying, you used to see these players, you'd hear they're back in training, but that would be non-contact training. Then you have contact training. Then you go play with under 21s. then after you're kind of mostly up to speed, you're back into a first team.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I don't know if Saka's that type of player that you have to do all of that for.
you
I mean,
you
that's
have
like
to
saying
do it with
you're telling me like if Salah got an injury like that, the way you would bring him back is that way, and I would say probably not. Probably not. You probably wouldn't bring a Salah back that way. And my understanding is Saka's number two to Salah in terms of right playing off that right side forward there. We've got Tiger and Guna here saying hello. Yeah, we're just about to head out of here. And this comment here is kind of the same thing that we saw for Kai Havertz. Good right team atmosphere, and you're gonna get a score. Kai Havertz shown that, right? Good team, good atmosphere. He's contributing. One of our
15
leading
goals.
scorers. All right, huh?
Had 15 goals this season.
Yeah, a leading scorer for us, right? I mean, I think that's where he's good, but we wanted that guy that's going to get us to 20 plus goals, right?
Watkins is that guy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I you know what? They should have spent the extra and brought him in if that was the only, that's where they think they went wrong. Like, what's 20 mil? We've wasted money on different players in the past. This is a player legit, like you said, comes with more guarantees than most, right?
And Tony, the big
and
thing,
not only that, but he just went out there and beat you, right? When you guys when you slipped up defensively the one time in the game, guess what he did? Headed it home, right? And that's what we're looking for. That type of play. Like Arteta, what are you looking for? You're looking for that, right? You're looking for that. That's the type of play you're looking for. The cross eventually comes in, and he makes you pay for it.
And Tony, I brought this up on Saturday, so I don't know if you listened, but everybody talks about Watkins and his age. Jamie Vardy's still doing it.
No,
So this whole idea that Watkins, you're only him for 2 years, and he'll be around at least the 34, 35 playing for you. May not give you 90 minutes a game, but
you never know with those players. But I'd rather spend the money that way. You could win 2 championships with him instead of 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I don't know what kind of what kind
At
of
some
light
point,
bulb
you have
needs
to
to go off
seize-
in your head that says, "Go get me a player that can give me an answer." Wait, you're saying Wally Watkins is available? Well, there you go. What more? Light at the end of the tunnel do you want than that? Like that's that should be. You need a player that comes in. It gives you the better chance to win. I mean, Watkins was that. Does it cost a little bit extra because it's the January window? Yes, it always costs more. Is it worth it? Yeah, it is. Because you know what? He would have been around when we were still in four competitions. I think we win at least one of those and move on. If we have, if we have Watkins, I think we move on to one. Against United, against Newcastle, pick one. If we have a striker in our team, so
especially with the services I get, because you got Odegaard, you got Winery now.
yeah,
You have Trossard. You have Gabriel from out deep.
Yep.
Then Party can if he's going up forward.
Yeah.
So it, all the ingredients are there, but you're lacking the main piece. It's just
yeah. No, but Vardy was 28 when he won the league, right? And
7 goals.
He comes off the bench now. And tell me which one of our players has 7 goals.
There's nobody else right now.
Right? There's nobody in our team right now that has 7 goals. And you were talking about a player who comes off the bench, so he would work for us coming off the bench.
And I'm not sitting there saying that Watkins would be a starter at 34, 35, but he's a guy you could throw on at the 70th minute. And hey, man, I need to go get me a goal. Like, if you're not thinking about players like that, like if you're sitting there, because I think we get stuck up in this age thing too quickly, where it's like, he'll be 31, 32. It's like, but I mean, look at Giroud. Like he went over to Italy and was still doing it. I don't know, man.
Big, I hear you here, but you want us to go and get players. We have a player we can bring in that's more guaranteed to get us goals. Why wouldn't you do that? Why does the money matter to you? Why does it matter?
Yeah, you want ambition.
The only way we get to where you want to go is if we get players that can guarantee us better opportunities to win. He does that. You pay for that. You had
a 1-2 punch of Watkins and Havertz, with Watkins being your number 1. That's a good striker.
And then if you decided to go with 2 up front, and it's Kai
Yeah.
Havertz and Watkins, you're laughing, right? You're laughing if that's what you decided to do. But we
I
are
still think that's a good. I think that's a good. That'd be good. I mean,
yeah.
you got to go get someone in this league, man. I want to see them. Absolutely, I want you to fork out $60 million for 29-year-old Watkins. Do you want to win or do you not?
Yeah, no,
You can go spend $60 million on Sesko, and all of a sudden Sesko's a dud. In 6 months, we're having the same conversation about, we need a
we're
striker.
talking about giving yourself the best odds, and I think
I-
Watkins gives you the best. Gave us the best odds in January.
If this team is ready to win right now,
to see out the season. So yeah, and 60 mil is nothing. All right, we paid 60 mil for Kai Havertz, and he's not. I don't think he's worth the 60 mil.
60 mil for Watkins.
And that was in the summer. So we're talking about in January. You got to pay a little extra. So I think it's worth it if your ambitions are to get a trophy and help your team. Like you look at your front line and you go, no, I'd rather do nothing than pay 60 for a player that guarantees you 15 to 20 goals a season.
I would walk that transfer request over for them.
Yeah. We have hit 100 minutes, folks, so we're going to start to get out of here. I'm going to let everybody have their say when we get out of here, but it's been great having this conversation. I know Spencer decided he wanted to destroy his toilet.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Well,
they make you so mad when they don't.
Yeah,
work.
tell us something about.
Dude, all jokes aside, I gotta go sit my ass at work tomorrow. Then I have to get off work, go to the gym, lift some weights for a little bit, then go pick up a toilet, and then try to get that together. So let me tell you something. The missus upstairs is not going to deal with not being able to use the toilet in the bathroom. And if it was still early tonight,
so did you have your Breaking Bad suit on when you were in there?
No, dude. No. I still have black in my hands because the washer.
Oh man, yeah. No, you don't even want to say it. Come on, we don't.
It is what it is. It is what it is. That rubber just doesn't do good with the water in this toxic America.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad I was able to come in for a little bit. Like, so sorry I couldn't. I'd rather have been here doing that. Trust me. Like after you put the 3 bolts in, you're like, it should be good, and it just keeps flowing out. You're like, okay,
something not right here.
Yeah, something's not right here. So I guess I'm just not good enough.
Yeah. Everybody can be a dud in 6 months. We brought Fabio Vieira in here, and he was a dud the day he brought him in. I mean, I think you're not guaranteed that it's going to work every time. That's the thing. So, but you go with the best option that you have. I think Watkins gives you answers for a lot of questions you have at striker. So, I kind of felt like, you got to pay for it. Like City it doesn't always work for City, right? They brought in players, they've paid for players. It hasn't worked all the time, But when you have an opportunity, you see what happened when City, when they needed to do something, they just went out and spent the money. They have more money than most of us, but they still went out there and spent the money. Arsenal had a chance to do that.
Yep.
Spent nothing. So you can't tell me they actually tried. At least, in that window. So.
They failed us all, guys. No, I appreciate you having me on, and like I said, I'll be here Saturday. So, but I'll have that toilet fixed so the missus can't yell at me.
There you go.
You better have it fixed by Saturday.
Jesus, dude. If I don't have it fixed by tomorrow night.
Yeah. I was going to say, you just get a bucket and a roll of toilet paper, right? So.
I mean, like, if it's good enough for the dogs to go outside and use it, what's wrong with you? I mean,
oh, man. Yeah, you don't want to. Don't say it too loud.
Listen, we've all been guys. If you haven't gone outside, come on now. Come on.
That City has desire for sure, but they have they definitely have the financial stout to make it easy for themselves. But but I think Arsenal supposedly did a good job in the summer, so why not take advantage of that? So no, for you, Biscuit, I'm with you on Erdogan. I wanted to see a lot more. I went back and forth with Spence on this one. Saka is giving me some, and I'm like, no, I need more from him. And he's like, no. Other people need to contribute. I'm like, I get that, but I still want him to give me more. Because guess what? The team needs it.
What we've learned is if Gary is your boss and you are a high performer, he's going to give you all the work. That's what we've learned today.
I'm going to ask you to continue to perform at that level and then show me that you can do more. Yes, I am. And that's how you get the best out of your people. You know that. You don't just go, okay, because you hit your numbers this time. Oh, that's all right. Well, you don't have to hit your numbers next time. No, you got to.
Oh, no, I hit your numbers.
Yeah, you got to hit your numbers and then some. You got to do a little bit better tomorrow.
But you can't,
Every time you
can't
go
ask
out there, you got to
Sally
perform a little bit.
Alder
I tell
project.
you every time, right? I want my team to play better. They got 38 times to go out there and play. I want them to get better 37 times.
You
Each
can't
time
have
they get out there, get a little bit better. You do that 37 times, guess what happens? You get what you want most of the time. If you don't get better and you have a little setback, guess what? You miss out. Anything else, Spencer, before we move on? Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
No?
okay.
Have I overtalked your screen time?
No, you're good. I mean, you can stop looking at my ugly mug and put Tony up on there now.
All right.
so
Well, this
everybody
is
doesn't
getting
tear
uglier
it off.
here. So here we go,
The
people.
viewers have dropped.
Oh my gosh! What in the world is that, Tony? Talk to the people.
What?
Tell me.
Tell you what. What do you want to be told? I'm gonna tell Spencer I've been beating the bush that he's trying to beat for 4 years now. I just keep saying Premier League proven players, Grab them up wherever you can, middle of the table, relegation teams. There are plenty to be had. I just don't see this point of. Well, like I said, I don't know if it's more of a fans or a media or both of them that get wrapped up in the name. But like me and Gary were talking about, you had Saliba, Gabriel, those guys weren't known. I mean, Odegaard was because he's the youngest player to ever start for Real Madrid, so that tells you his talent level. But they never put trust in him. Then they said lied to him, so then he came and showed what he could do at Arsenal, and now he needs to show he can score some more. Because he looked like Gary didn't agree with me, but I watched the game right before the show started, and I was like, he looks like a chicken with his head cut off because he's just going around the whole midfield and right behind the back line. It's just like circling.
I tell you, that's part of his role on the squad. I don't like it, but that's part of his role is to do a lot of that stuff that you considered running around with his head off. But I think that's part of the role that he's. I mean, the same role that for me allows us to press up top with him at the top when he's good. Is the same kind of contribution he has to give when he's back in back sitting next to Partey. You know what I mean? So I think you can't just ask for one and get the other. But we're gonna get out of here, folks. Tony, say bye. Say goodbye. Good night. All right. Yes, and this is a scene. I saw this. It was a Christmas vacation. I could just see. It just seems like Big Gunner, like waving as he's doing what he's doing. With the dog next to him. Stephen, thanks for joining us. Yes, it was a great show. I enjoyed it. Yes, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Come on, you Gunners. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll do this again. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Arsenal decides to answer the next question of how do we beat West Ham. I would like to see us finish off a. I keep saying this. Can we please finish off a game at halftime? Please, can we start and come out guns blazing and take a lead and then know we can just hold on to it because we got defensive support. All right, and we know that if we bring on Merino late in the game, we probably will maybe extend the lead. Yeah, we've been missing that. Remember that? We needed that player to come in and extend the lead for us. Maybe that's Merino. Thanks, Tiger and Gunnar, for joining us.
However,
Nancy, thanks for joining us. Yes. Another 6-0. It'd be nice to get a 6-0 against them, but I'm all right with a 2-3-0. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll be back. We'll do this again next Monday. Over the weekend, it'll just be the boys. I'm letting them have the keys, so you can check that out and see how that goes. But we'll be back on Monday to chat about how the weekend's game goes. I probably will. I'll be able to watch that game. I can't do both, watch the game and do a show anyways, but I'll be traveling, so I'll miss out on the show, but I'll probably watch the game because it'll be 7:00 where I'm going. So there you go, before anything starts. But thanks for joining us. We'll do this again next week, and everybody have a good evening, good night. Hit the like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Life is a journey. Don't waste your trip.